Welcome back. Okay, so let's say you continue into this. Hold on and I'll show you. Let's zoom in. I always have to remember how to zoom in. Okay. Okay. So let's assume. Hold on just a minute. I got my hair in pigtails. Okay, so let's say you are going all the way. Okay, and then you want to do something different. You're like, well, I want to do something different. What do I do if I want to enclose it? So I'll show you. Here we've got 1, 2, let me lay it down. And let's see. Tilt that up a little bit. Okay, I proceeded and did additional loops because I said, well, I had some thread on my needle, so I said, I'm going to keep going. So as you notice, this is the chain. Okay, this is the chain that consists of 4 double stitches of picot, 4 double stitches of picot, 4 double stitches. And this is the ring that consists of 2 double stitches, a picot, 2 double stitches. Let's see, it consists of, I apologize, 6 double stitches joining to the previous picot on the previous ring, 2 double stitches, then a picot, and then finishing off with 6 double stitches. So I went ahead and did 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5, so you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just say you wanted to create like a little moffet. Okay, let's take a look this way. So now I'm, going to create the 6th chain. So I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, picot, through, 1, 2, 3, 4, a picot, finish it off, slide it through, and then finish it with 4 double stitches. 2, 3, 4. Okay. That one a little more. And a chain is where you just slide your work through. Turn your work around. Holding on to that chain. Put your finger over the ball thread, and then this is the tail end. Make a little loop. Go under. Make that knot. There. So now we want to finish it and join it and make a beautiful little moffet. That's what this is called, M-A-T-I-F. So you're holding your chain. You're going to create those 6 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to join it to the ring that we previously made into that picot. So you put your ball thread in the back, you take your needle, you insert your needle and bring that thread from the back through that picot. Now you create 4 double stitches, or 2. Let me see, 1, 2. How does that work? Let's see, will that work? That looks like it'll work. So we'll create 2 double stitches. We'll insert the picot to the we'll insert the needle to the very first ring we made. Remember, there's a picot there. So you insert, bring that through, pull your thread. Now we're going to do 6 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? The work should look like this. This is a ring, so you're going to insert your fingers right over here to hold that loop. Pull your work through. Insert the needle through the back of that loop. Pull it tight. Pull it tight, pull it tight. Turn your work around. The ball thread is over your finger. Your tail end, your needle thread is going to go around your finger, under the ball thread, create that knot. This is what your work should look like so far. Look at that. We're going to close it out now and create a little moffet, little circle moffet. So, if you remember, the chain is 4 double stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, a picot. Finish that picot, slide your work through, 4 double stitches, another picot, slide it down, 4 double stitches. Okay, so this is a chain, and a chain, all you have to do is slide your work through. Okay, hold on it with your, hold on to your work. Now you're going to transfer it to the other hand, turn it around. This is the ball thread goes over your finger. I'm looping that around. My chain thread, tighten that up. Okay, what we should look like so far. You're going to take your needle, and from the front you're going to find the top of that chain and just pull that thread through. Now wrap your finger around that ball thread. You want to hold that tight. You want to pull your work together. Flip that around and make a knot. Pull that together. Now let's create another little knot just to secure that in place. Again, that ball thread around your finger and finish it up with 2 knots. Take your ball thread and your scissors, cut that end off. This is the ball thread. Now you want to hide. It's called hide tie and then cut. So what I do is I go into the double stitches of my, wherever you want your ring or the chain, slide your work through, maybe a couple more. There. Get your scissors, cut as close as you can to that thread. There. Cut that thread. You've done the first part. Now get your all the thread that you had, that you cut, and thread your needle, the needle threader, there. There you go. Pull that through. Now we're going to do the same thing. This thread is in the back of this project, so I'm going to turn my work around and I'm going to go on the opposite end. Run my needle through those double stitches. Again, a couple more. Get my scissors and get really close to that. Remove the thread from the needle. And look what we've done. Isn't that beautiful? This could be a little medallion. You can sew it on a blouse, wherever you want. Another thing you could do, once you've learned how to do this, you could make more and attach them. Attach it here, attach it here, attach it there, attach it there, attach it there, attach it. Another one. The thing is, you have to learn how to attach them. So what I'm going to do, if you notice, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 picots. So that's enough to add 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's 12. We can add 12 of these. I think. I haven't done this. Like I said before, this is a project that just, since I am learning, while I'm learning, I'm teaching you. This is my very first that I did without looking at a book or anything. This was done specifically just by memorizing my stitches. So I want to thank you for joining me. And then I'm going to lower that down. There we go. And yes, I have my hair in ponytails. My hair is growing, so when it starts to grow, and it starts getting in my way. But I think I'm just going to let it grow this year. That's what I feel like doing. So I'm sitting in my chair because my back hurts. Nothing I could do about that. But I want to thank you for joining me. Please, if you have any questions, by all means, ask me, and I'll do everything I can to help you in this journey of needle tatting. Again, I haven't returned my shuttle. Somebody gave me a suggestion that I should just try again. So I'm going to try again. I just happened to come into a YouTube where a lady is disabled and wants to do shuttle tatting. And what she did was pin some pins on like a board like I have, And she just laid the work down. She laid her pins like a triangle, and then the thread in the middle, and she just weaved her shuttle in, and then she weaved her shuttle through, and she's creating awesome patterns. I'm like, my mind was blown, because here I am thinking that because I have little tiny hands, and I have my camera zoomed in, but my hands are the size of a 6 year old, and they're not really big, they're really tiny. They're just pretty little hands, and my fingers, if you can see my little finger, it's only an inch and a half, my baby finger, and my whole hand is like, let's see, it's less than like 5.5 inches long, and like, let's see, 4 inches wide. So I have little hands. So when I have to make that little tiny, what do we call that? And you have to do this, and you have to hold your finger like this. I don't have enough room for my hand to put the shuttle in. Look at that. There is no room for my little hand. But and I got frustrated. I'm going to tell you, I got super frustrated. I was like almost in like kind of mode. But then I said to myself, sometimes some things aren't meant for everybody. But looking at the way this lady did it, in fact, there's like 3 or 4 women that I've seen. Even one lady created a little box out of a shoebox, and she put pins on the top of the shoebox, and she put the thread and shows you how to wrap the thread, and she even did it with the needle. She says she's disabled, so she wanted to do tatting. She may have to weave it, but she got the same result. It's a different type of pattern. It's mostly for necklaces and things of that nature. But again, your needle tatting and your shuttle tatting. So I'm going to give that a try. So may you all be safe. Stay at home. Remember, not only are you saving your life, but you're saving other lives around. And let's keep praying, because I know a lot of people are learning to pray now. I've always been a religious person from, I believe I was 2 years old, and I already have felt the power and the glory of God. If I could only tell you what happened to me when I was a little child. I know I was 2 years old, and something happened to me that can only happen to a child. And I know that my parents prayed a lot. I know my grandmother specifically. And for some reason, I'm only 2 years old. I remember my grandmother praying. Because that's one thing when you're young and your parents teach you how to pray at a very young age, whether it's the rosary or just praying or reading from the Bible. If you notice that when you read from the Bible, if you're a Catholic, you're reading from the Holy Bible. It doesn't matter if whatever religion, you're reading from the Word of God. And we always used to go to church. At a certain age, I stopped going to church. Not that I didn't like it or anything. I just became a teenager, and I wanted to be a teenager. So I remember I was 2 years old, and I was a little kid, 2 years old, and something happened to me. I remember I got stuck somewhere, and my parents were so busy talking, they weren't paying attention to me. I got stuck somewhere very dangerously. I don't remember what it was, because I remember by the power of the glory of the Lord, I prayed, and for some reason, I'm telling you, guess what the power of God did? He saved my life, and I ran and told my parents, this happened to me, and I almost died. And I'm a little kid, and I could speak Spanish, by the way, and I understand Portuguese fluently. I can listen to French, and I can understand it. I can listen to Italian, and I can understand it. Don't ask me why. I know my father knew Portuguese. He listened to Portuguese, so that's how I learned Portuguese from my father. So here I am. I told my parents, this happened to me. The bed almost fell, and I was stuck, and you can hear me, and I couldn't get the bed off of me. This huge, giant bed fell on me, because I was crawling under my parents' bed or my grandparents' bed. I don't remember, but I kicked something, I don't know what it was. I think they had a box holding the bed. I don't know what it was. And here I am, 2 years old, and the bed fell on my chest. And I'm a 2-year-old, and I shouldn't have been under there anyway. And I was praying, so I knew my parents prayed. And I said, oh God, I'm gonna die in my chest. I was breathing. I think I passed out. When I woke up, I was not under the bed, and the door was closed, and nobody was there. And I ran into my parents, and they were like, yeah, whatever. But when my father walked in and seen the bed down, he knew something happened, and he knew something had saved my life. So, and I was alone in this room where a bed fell on me. Like I said, they had a box or something holding that in. That week, I remember that week or so, we got rid of the bed, got a regular posters and everything. But these things truly happened to me, and I've always had miracles happen to me. There was a point where I had no money to pay for my car. I had a $35,000 sports car. It's one of those sports cars that you shift and you can go like 0 to 90 in like 2 seconds. And I didn't have money to pay for my registration, and I don't know how it happened, but somebody sent me cash in the mail. And one day I called the company, and I said, this happened a lot because I have two things happen to you. And I called the company, told them I was going to be behind my behind my car payment, and I only owe $350 left on my payment, but I'm supposed to get a job, and I'm doing everything I can. And then they said, hold on for 1 minute, because I think they're going to go tow your car right now. So I was quiet, and I stayed on the phone, and I prayed to God. I said, God, I'm in dire need. I'm $350 behind on my bill. What am I going to do? I'm going to lose the car that I've been spending $30-something thousand on for the past 3 years. Help me, sweet Jesus. God, what am I going to do? She gets back on the phone, and she says, Mrs. Bulgarian, do you know your car is already paid off? And I said, no. She says, yeah, I was looking through the records, and you have a $350 credit. You overpaid several months in advance, and the bookkeeper caught that. So we canceled the tow, and now the car is legally yours. You don't have to call us anymore. You don't have to pay. It's all yours. It's clear and free. And I told her, can you please fax me all that information? I want to have the paper and the release of the lien, everything showing that I'm the owner. And I was like, if I didn't call up, if I didn't ask God, if I didn't I would have been paying an additional $350. And who knows what would have happened to that money. But because of the grace of God, somebody took their time to look into my account and notice that I overpaid $350, and they stopped the tow company. The car was clean, and mine. She faxed everything. I kept all that work, and I said, my Lord God, thank you. And I don't remember, I had actually had every, you know how you get your statements, and I looked, and I don't see a credit. I don't see where I overpaid. I mean, I just see payments. But I see payments in a consistency of 150, 150, 150. For 5 years, I had tracked it, page after page, and I counted and double counted, and I don't see where that extra $350. It just says balance due 0. That's it. Where she said there was a $350 credit, I will never know. I just know, in my mind's eye, I know that I missed 3 months payment. I know that because I don't see myself. I kept track of the 3 months that I didn't pay. But for some reason, where the 3 months are at, it just says credit. No payment, it just says credit. But I added everything up, it came $30,000, and I'm like, wait a minute, either I'm seeing things or they're seeing things, so God is seeing things. So I have seen miracles I've gotten in 5 car wrecks where people have wrecked in front of me. I didn't drive them, they did. Where I should be not in this earth. But for some reason, God, I've always had a car that had one of those balloons that pop out, the new car, and it didn't blow up. But I, I didn't get hurt. I walked right out of that car. The car was totally wrecked. God has truly blessed me, and I've received gifts from God because God is good. When you're a good human being and you give without expecting or receiving, the Bible says, um, give and don't expect anything. I know it's in the Bible, but don't quote me and don't say, oh, it's this one and that one. I know it's there. I know it says it's better to give than to receive. And I know that I love giving, and this is part of giving. I don't expect anything back. I don't expect material things back. All I expect is you to try it. To try it, to get your hands in it, whether it's sewing or pottery or singing, because I love to sing as well. And if you notice, my voice doesn't go any higher than this. It's always been like this. I don't know why, but it's just like this. And I've tried to raise my voice higher than the level I had. And if I do, it hurts. I don't know why, but it hurts. I guess it's God's way of saying, you're not going to yell at anybody. And He stopped me from doing it. So this is what I do. I ask God, God, help me with this. God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to think this way. I don't want to do that. And believe me, it happens. There was a time I told God, God, I'm tired of yelling. I don't want to be yelling at things that happen. Sometimes you have to yell to get your point across. And I don't like that. I'm not a aggressive person. I'm not a frustration. I don't confront people and say, hey, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't help. If a person is the way they are, and you try to explain it this way, and you try to explain it that way, and you try to even show them, and they just don't get it, there's nothing you can do about that. It's only God that can show them the way. And I'm going to tell you, God has shown people the way. God has shown people the way. He says, well, you didn't get, she couldn't teach you or she couldn't show you, but I can show you and I'm going to teach you. I'm going to take that person away from you because you don't deserve that beautiful person. So God has given me miracles. He's taken away the bad people out of my life who just couldn't do the goodness that I've tried to show them, because that's all I try to do is show goodness and say, look, at things do happen, things can happen. God does have the power over the universe. And people are saying, oh, the coronavirus is God's way of showing, no. Coronavirus is something that happened. I'm not saying God intervened in this. I don't believe that. It's just like when you catch a cold. Are you going to blame it on God? No. It's just a new virus that came out of nowhere from people experimenting things that they shouldn't be experimenting with. And it just spread like wildfire, just like a fire. You start a fire and then the fire happens, or you aren't paying attention and you left the skillet on, or you're not paying attention and the barbecue got caught with something, or you didn't pay attention and maybe you smoked and you dropped your cigarette, you thought you put it out and it fell somewhere and it caught fire. What can we do? You lose everything. Not only do you lose whatever you had, but you could lose lives in the process. So, and I'm going to tell you another story that happened. It was a Christmas evening, and we were 60 miles into visiting relatives when all of a sudden I had a horrifying feeling that I had to get home immediately. Don't ask me why. And I told at the time I was married, I told my husband, we got to get home. And he goes, no, we just got here. We're just starting to open the presents, and my mom's going to pull out the tamales and all that. And I said, no, we got to go now. And he says, because I've always told him when I felt funny feelings, it's going to happen. And he didn't want to believe me. Lo and behold, he didn't want to go. When I said, well, I'm starting the car, I'm getting the kids, we're going home. I have to get home. So reluctantly, he went, and we all went home. Guess what? The house was on fire. I left the lights on in the Christmas tree. These were old-fashioned Christmas lights that were like maybe 20, 30 years old. And the Christmas tree was not a plastic Christmas tree, but the kind that, the regular Christmas tree. And I thought I turned off the lights in the home, but I didn't. Somehow the power sparked, and if something sparks, the Christmas tree was on fire. You could see it from the outside, and where I lived was very rural. There were no other homes around me. There was a school that was like 4 or 5 blocks away, and I was like miles away from people. I loved it that place. Now it's not like that anymore. It's all suburbanized. It's changed. So don't ask me why. Instead of me calling and they had phones back then. They had the little flip phones in 1995, and because I was working, so I was always a high-tech person. I had to have a phone. So I took my phone, I flipped it, I called 911. Meanwhile, they told me to stay outside, but the inside of me, my kids are screaming. I have a little granddaughter just born, and I'm saying, oh God, Lord, we're going to lose our place and we're all going to be homeless, and I got to go over, but where we're all going to stay. So I had the water hose outside, which I always do. I love watering the plants. I don't know what got into me, but I got the water hose. We had several water hoses because our land was so big. We had a water hose on like 3 different sizes. I told my then husband and my son, get the water hoses. We're going to go in there to get that water. We're going to turn out that fire. So I get into the house. I unlock the front door because the tree is right there on the side, and then there's like a wall or something that separates the door opening and the hallway where you come in. So I open the door and I see this huge ball of light that was by the Christmas tree. This is God's truth. I am not going to lie to you. I opened the door, you could feel the heat, the ball of light. I thought it actually looked at me, and then all of a sudden it did a complete turn like this and started right towards me. I had the water hose ready, and I pulled it right in front of that water bed. There was something going to attack me. And I turned the water hose on full blast, like it was like a water hose like a fire person would have. And it opened it all up, and it hit that ball of fire. Whereas that thing could have blew up and burnt me to a crisp. And I opened the door, and we one by one of us came in with the water hose. Each one of us just... And don't ask us. By the time the fire department came, because we're in a rural area, the fire department was miles away, they told us, get out the way. They came with all this equipment, all these guys, which I really, the firefighters are heroes. When they came in and they said, I thought there was a fire here, because we put it out. And they said, how did you put it out? I said, we have 3 different water hoses, and we came in 3 different ways, and we all came in like gangbusters. And he says, do you know what could have happened to you? He asked me, did a fireball, that thing could have came and blasted. I told him I realized that. And he goes, weren't you afraid? And I said, not really, not at all. Because I felt God was going to help me. So when they came in and started throwing out the couch, the end tables. Half of the TV was crisp fried, and they started showing us all the stuff that was on fire, because I just did the laundry and it was all in baskets, and they were throwing out the clothes are all burnt to a crisp. All our presents got on fire. We had no Christmas of our own. Um, Yet I was thankful that we were able to save the interior of the house. The only thing that got burned was the Christmas tree, those little the Christmas presents we had, the laundry that I had set on the dining room table, the TV that was half of a TV, and when they left, because they didn't have to hose anything down, we hosed everything down. They didn't have to turn the fire hose. They told us about never, ever, ever use old Christmas lights and always, always, always unplug it. And they noticed that I had no water in the Christmas tree. You know, when you put the bowl, they told us you should always, always keep that full of water. And I was so thankful that we were able to just get in there, wipe everything down, mops. We didn't have rug, thank God. It was all hardwood floor all the way around the house. And even though then I think about it, it was wood, hardwood floors that could have caught on fire. So with that said, I am so blessed. I've seen miracles in my life that would just blow your mind. But there I am telling you part of my life and how things can, all things God is possible. There's somewhere in Matthew that says all things are possible with God. So remember that. If you are a believer like me, I'm a total believer, all things are possible. You could be disabled. It's like that one lady that I seen on YouTube. She is totally disabled and she is doing noodle candy with her arthritic hands and everything. And there are so many talented people that can blow your minds. You'd be surprised how many talented people that are disabled that can do things that just totally blow your mind. So enough said. I hope I'm going to post this on the YouTube. And again, I know there's some people that don't believe, and that's all fine and dandy. I'm not going to hold you to judgment because that's not my job. That is not my job. You know, we all have our jobs in lives. That is not my job. That is the Lord Jesus Christ's job. I'm not saying He's going to punish you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say that whatever you believe in, just make it good. That's what I'm saying. Make it good. And all from the Thank you again. God bless you. For those of you who need blessing, those of you who are always looking for a blessing, be thankful if you have a roof over your head, that you've got food in your pantry, that you're alive, whether you can walk or not, see or hear or not, but you have a home. For those that do not have a home, for those that do not have, and who are in despair, I'm going to ask that the Lord God touch you in every which way. And that means if He has to awaken you to see that you need to get a job, whether it's wiping cars down, whether it's getting on your knees and cleaning floors. There are people who are working right now for us, hard labor, people who are going to work in hospitals, firefighters who are out there doing their duty, soldiers that are protecting our country, police officers that are patrolling the streets to make sure that you're safe. Just think about it. There are grocery clerks that are going to work, that are able to go to work. Think about it. These people are putting their lives up in the front line like soldiers. Think about the post workers that are delivering your mail, the UPS drivers, the DHL drivers, the FedEx drivers, or any delivery driver, the drivers that are delivering your food, the people that are preparing your food, the Wheels on Meals people, the people that are picking you up, that have access to transportation, the bus drivers, the cab drivers, anybody who's out there doing their duty to make our life a lot better. doctors, lawyers, professors, teachers, online students, and online teachers, and people that are online helping you. Just in your friends, by all means, be thankful for your friends and the neighbors who are coming to your rescue. Because I have seen miracles. Here's another miracle. Several weeks ago, I had no milk because I have disabilities. I have multiple sclerosis and I have asthma and a lot of other disabilities. So I don't get out that often as much as I would love to. So I'm here saying, God, what am I going to do? I don't have any milk. I don't have any bread. I don't have any meat. I don't have any eggs. I only have things that like pastas and pasta salad. And I'm saying, God, I don't even have any PP paper. What am I going to do? I just ran out. God, help me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I think, and that was when the coronavirus was worse than it is now. And I was kind of like, don't panic, Joanne. Don't worry, Joanne. This little thing that got to me. And they said, you just have, and then the first month wasn't for another 2 weeks, because what I do is I pay my bills first. I pay my bills first, and whatever's left over, I get my medication. And after that, if I have $20, that's what I'm going to have to save for an emergency. So I said to myself, I have $20. Should I catch the cab and spend $20 or $15 just to go get one item? And at that time, that very specific time, there was no toilet paper. Now, that's when people panic. And I didn't panic. I just said, I'm going to just pray to God. One of my neighbors came and said that they're taking people that are in need, a list of somebody who's going to go do the shopping from a specific charity. Will you need to be on the list? And I said, yes. That's all I said. So she wrote my name down on the list. 2 days later, I get a knock on the door, and the charity came, and they came with over 5 giant big bags of groceries. I'm talking about groceries, including milk and TP paper, some meat, bread, a lot of canned food, cereal, butter, things that you need, and peanut butter, things that I needed, things that I didn't expect. But this is what I call miracle, how God hears you. God knows this. God touches people to work through Him. And that's why we need to do God's work. Whether they believe us or they don't believe us, when they're in need, and I'm telling you, there were people believing God because they were in need of toilet paper, or they were in need of meat, they were in need, babies that are in need right now. Those are the most beautiful, precious. Just think about it. It almost, my heart just feels that we have to take care of the little children. There's mothers out there that probably don't even want to tell you they're in need. And seniors, because I'm a senior, there are seniors that are homebound, that are what they call shut-ins. They don't go out unless they have a doctor's appointment, and they're too ashamed or scared to tell you, hey, I need somebody to take me. They don't drive because they can't. I'm one of those people that can no longer drive because I'm losing my eyesight in my left eye. How can I drive? This is the main eye that has to turn around and look what's going on in the back, and if I can't see what's on the side of me anymore, I can't drive. So I depend on transportation or a taxi. So make sure that you do the best you can to help and love your neighbor as yourself. I'm going to end it with that one. Love thy neighbor as yourself. And if you love yourself, you're going to love your God bless. Thank you for listening.